regarding the conclusion is that major portion of the atom is empty, and the last point regarding the observation is that a very few alpha particles bounce back. By combining these 2 points, we can conclude that, not we, Rutherford concluded that the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of the atom. So this is the conclusion and observation regarding Rutherford scattering experiment or alpha particle scattering experiment or gold foil experiment. From this observation and conclusion, he made Rutherford atom model. So right now we are going to discuss about Rutherford atom model. By all combining the observation and conclusion made by Rutherford, he developed an atom model called Rutherford atom model. So next one is, what are the points regarding Rutherford atom? From the observation and conclusion, from the experiment, gold foil experiment or otherwise called alpha particle scattering experiment or Rutherford experiment, he made the atom model such that the first point, Rutherford atom model. Rutherford atom model. The first point, regarding Rutherford atom model is that the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of the atom and is called nucleus of the atom. So the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of atom and is called a nucleus of the atom. Who gave the point? Rutherford. From where? Of the experiment Rutherford atom model. So he made the Rutherford atom model, or otherwise we can say that he concluded the points from the conclusion and observations from that experiment. So the first point regarding Rutherford atom model is that the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of the atom and is called the nucleus of the atom. The second point, all the positive charges are inside the nucleus. All the positive charges are inside the nucleus. So he gives the second point such that all the positive charges are inside the nucleus. The first point is that the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of the atom and is called the nucleus of the atom. And the second point, all the positive charges are inside the nucleus. And what about the third point? The third point regarding the size of the nucleus. The size of the nucleus is very small. That is approximately equal to 10 raised to minus 15 meter. The size of the nucleus is very small. That is, it is approximately equal to 10 raised to minus 15 meter. So you know that much small the nucleus. So the size of the nucleus is very small. So there will be 3 points right now regarding the Rutherford atom model. There is also another 2 points also. So these are the first 3 points regarding the Rutherford atom model, and these points are coming from the observation and conclusion made by the experiment, and these are the 3 points. The next 2 points we want to discuss. So the fourth point is that What is the fourth point regarding Rutherford atom? The fourth point. So these are the first three. Fourth point is regarding the electrons. According to the Rutherford atom model, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit, or otherwise it is called a shell. The electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit or shell. This is the fourth point regarding Rutherford atom. So Rutherford clearly explains that the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit. That means they give the correct arrangement. Rutherford gives the correct arrangement of electrons and protons, and he gives that protons are inside the nucleus and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit. This thing J.J. Thomson failed to explain. So J.J. Thomson failed to explain about the arrangement of protons or electrons inside the atom. But Rutherford clearly explains that protons are inside the nucleus and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit. And the fifth point is that it's a complicated point. Simply we have to analyze that when a particle is revolving around, or when a particle is revolving, that particle needs centripetal force for revolving. Where did the electron get centripetal force? That is the question. So inside the nucleus there is proton. Proton is of positive charge. Outside the nucleus in the orbit there is electron. Electron is of negative charge. So there is negative charge and there is positive charge inside the atom. So inside the nucleus there is proton, and proton is of positive charge, and electron is of negative charge, that is outside the nucleus and is in the orbit. So this positive charge and negative charge has an attraction. That force of attraction is called electrostatic force of attraction, because these are charges. So that charges will attract, and that type of attraction is called electrostatic force of attraction. So there is an electrostatic force of attraction between the proton and the electron. That electrostatic force of attraction provides centripetal force for the electron to revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. So there is an electrostatic force of attraction between electron and proton. Why? Because electron is of negative charge and proton is of positive charge. So there is an electrostatic force of attraction between this electron and proton. That electrostatic force of attraction provides centripetal force for electron to revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. So this is the fifth point. The electrostatic force of attraction, between electron and proton provide centripetal force for electron to revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. So the electrostatic force of attraction between electron and proton provides centripetal force for the electron to revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. These are the points regarding Rutherford atom model. So there is five points associated with the Rutherford atom model. What are the points? The first point is that the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of the atom and is called the nucleus of the atom. Second point is that all the positive charges are inside the nucleus. Third point is that the size of the nucleus is of the order of 10 raised to minus 15 meter, that is very small. Fourth point is that the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in the circular orbit. And the fifth point is that the electrostatic force of attraction between electron and proton provide necessary centripetal force for the electron to revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. These are the 5 points regarding Rutherford atom model. Where the 5 points come? Where did the 5 points come? These 5 points come from the experiment called Rutherford scattering experiment or alpha particle scattering experiment or gold foil experiment. So this is the experimental arrangement. Already we discussed about the experiment and the observation. From the experiment and observation, we made a conclusion. From the experiment, observation and the conclusion, Rutherford give 5 points regarding Rutherford atom. So here comes next, there will be another atom model called Bohr atom model. Why Bohr atom model comes? If Rutherford atom model is completely correct, then there will be no chance of Bohr atom model. If Bohr atom model comes, that means there is some limitation regarding Bohr atom model. Sorry, there is some limitation regarding Rutherford atom model. That's why Bohr atom model comes. So what are the limitations of Rutherford atom model? Simply, these are Rutherford atom model and we want to know about the limitation. As we know that electrons are revolving around the nucleus. That means Rutherford clearly says that electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit and electron is a negatively charged particle. There will be no confusion regarding that. And Rutherford clearly says that this whole thing. But the problem is that when a charged particle is continuously rotating or revolving or continuously moving, there is a chance of radiation. That means if the electrons are continuously revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit, electrons emit radiation and there is a drop of energy. So at that time, there is of continuous revolving around the nucleus in the circular orbit, electron loss energy. After electron completely loss energy, electrons will fall into the nucleus. If that happens, atom is unstable. But Rutherford says that atom is stable. Rutherford clearly says that atom is stable. But if we apply the concept of Rutherford atom model, there is a chance